If you can visualize, you can materialize. We now know that our subconscious mind controls the majority of our thoughts. And when we visualize something happening enough times, the subconscious mind can't tell if it is really happening or not. So if we visualize ourselves having a positive or negative experience in a future event, this will play a big part in the outcome of that future event. Dr. Joe Dispenza, the world-famous neuroscientist, explains that if we close our eyes and mentally rehearse any type of action in a meditative state, the brain doesn't know the difference between what we are imagining and what we are actually experiencing. So when we visualize something enough times, we are ultimately teaching our body what the future moment will feel like ahead of the actual experience. So for example, if you constantly have thoughts about failing at something in advance, when you get to that situation, your subconscious is likely going to replay the failure you had already envisaged in your mind. Did you ever have a talk at school or a presentation at work? And before the presentation or the talk, you constantly thought about how scary it would be, and maybe you didn't believe you were confident enough to do well. And then when the actual event happened, you were right, it was scary and it didn't go well. One of the main reasons for this is likely because you programmed your subconscious mind ahead of the real event. And then when the real event happened, those thoughts and feelings of fear and doubt rose up and determined your outcome in real time. I can remember having to present a new project to a board of directors one time, a board of directors that I'd never met, with a CEO that would tear holes in my proposal if I didn't nail the presentation. And although I wasn't 100% confident leading up to the presentation, because it wasn't something I'd done before, I visualized in my mind exactly how the presentation would go, visualizing it and playing it over and over again in my head, and picturing myself presenting and feeling full of confidence, being cool, calm, and collected when I was asked any questions, and I visualized the whole project being approved and everything going smoothly. And guess what happened? Everything went as planned. And the whole presentation was a success because I conditioned my mind and body ahead of time. I've also used this technique to condition my subconscious to stay cool, calm, and collected during a future meeting where I was required to resolve a conflict. I pictured myself staying calm, and I would keep redirecting the conversation towards the bigger picture and solution. And once the future event happened, I had already conditioned my mind and body to stay calm and act in the way I had visualized. And in real time, during the event as it played out, it went almost exactly the way I had visualized it in my mind. Athletes and actors use visualization all the time, preparing for their time to shine in the spotlight. Once the cameras are rolling, so they know exactly how this technique works. It's very, very well used around the world by lots of famous and successful people to condition your mind ahead of time. So try this out. Next time you need to have a conversation with your partner, a work colleague, a family member, or your child, and you might currently be dreading this conversation, start visualizing the conversation being successful with a positive outcome, and replay this positive outcome by visualizing it over and over again in your head. If you mentally rehearse this enough, once you have the actual conversation, your subconscious mind will play back positive thoughts and emotions during the conversation, which will completely change your tone and change the whole tone and energy of the event in real time. Neuroscientists now know that constructing an imaginary event in our mind is significantly proven to more accurately create that event in real time. Mentally rehearse what you want in advance. Next time you are preparing to create and achieve something, visualize in advance having exactly what you want and the experience and the outcome going exactly how you want it to go. If you visualize it enough times, your subconscious will produce the same thoughts, emotions, and energy in real time during the actual event and during the process of creating what you want.